the day again. July 2nd, 2004. Howdy, partners. We reckon you may have heard of the trouble that went down in Marshalltown, Iowa. Miss Spiker alluded to the adventures that the Death Cavern Boys encountered on that hazy Friday morning. Who are the Death Cavern Boys, you ask? Well, if word hasn't hit your corner of the prairie yet, hold on to your reins because you're about to find out. We're two of the roughest, toughest cowboy vigilantes to ever cross the Mississippi on bicycles. But soon to get horses, we swear. By birth, we go by the names of Benjamin Block and Stephen Ratner. But out west, the ladies know us as Eagle Eye and Slinger, respectively. As the sun rose over the Iowa horizon, danger lurked in the distance. We sauntered from our resting spots to haul in the morning's grub when our posse approached us with troubling news. We both had a funny feeling when we arose from our slumber, but we quickly attributed it to another long night at the old saloon. 3 steeds, bikes, saddlebags, and all had been taken from the ranch, YMCA, during the night. The posse was in a frenzy, but luckily the Death Cavern Boys always keep their cool. We knew what needed to be done, and we would not set off on the trail to Ames until justice had been restored and the streets of Marshalltown were again safe to walk. Or bike or even drive, I guess. As the posse disbanded to notify the sheriff and his deputies, the Death Cavern Boys, never jumping at the first sign of danger, settled in for a hearty meal. After having our first rations of food, Slinger looked out on the horizon from our hideout and realized the time was not yet right. He went back to have another round of hardtack and flapjacks. Really just a cinnamon swirl bagel, even though the cinnamon upsets his stomach. After filling our stomachs and then our canteens, we strapped on our chaps, tight spandex shorts with padded butts, and boots, lame bike shoes with clips on the bottom that make an annoying sound when strutting on pavement. We met with the rest of the search party. Boss, Joshua Champagne, had his doubts about the Death Cavern Boys when we told him that trouble was brewing to the east. We had been labeled as loose cannons for our plans of making a raft and becoming riverboat pirates on the Mississippi, but Boss knew we were their only hope of finding them missing horses. We led our faithful steeds, Mac and Trigger, away from the ranch towards the watering hole, but before getting further than 50 paces, Eagle Eye had spotted a bandit in the distance. The foolish outlaw was riding atop a yellow and black steed that looked remarkably similar to Miss Spiker's very own. Without a moment of hesitation, Eagle Eye had mounted his horse and crested the hill. Slinger, having been in many a chase in his old age, took one last swig from his trusty tin flask and then spurred his horse up the treacherous hillside. Soon Eagle Eye was on the bandit's tail in full gallop, and Slinger moseyed up alongside the young man wearing no more than a pair of chaps, Tommy Hilfiger jean shorts circa 1991 with no underwear, less than adequate boots, white K-Swisses, and a gold chain that shimmered in the morning sun. As Eagle Eye followed from behind, he recognized our posse's brand, Cannondale R400, upon the steed's side that cursed himself for forgetting his lasso. Slinger knew words or fists would have to bring the chase to a halt, but being the gentleman that we are, gave diplomacy a shot. Slinger, managing to flank the young thief, inquired, "Hey man, where'd you get the horse?" Bike. A moment passed before the witless scoundrel replied, a friend gave it to me last night at a bar. Don't you think for an Iowa minute that the Death Cavern Boys know when someone's yanking their chain? We saw right through that slimy bullshit and told the bandit to dismount and hand over the stallion. The young man may have been stupid enough to steal horses, bikes, from the posse the Death Cavern Boys run with, but once he laid eyes on the 2 guns Slinger calls his biceps, he quickly abandoned any thoughts of reaching for his 6-shooter. Our interrogation made its way across the street to a local saloon named Hardy's, where Slinger put aside ordering the Big Bacon Classic Value Meal supersized with Coca-Cola Classic, and instead stuck to the business of questioning the bandit as our cavalry surrounded the joint. As Eagle Eye whistled for the sheriff, the young man again tried to pull the wool over Death Cavern Boy's eyes using the alias Travis Brower. Yet Slinger had been known to go by many names, Reeve Quatner, and asked for some identification, unsurprisingly coming up empty-handed. As the sheriff rode toward Hardee's, Travis Brower tried to cut a deal, offering to disclose the whereabouts of the other 2 horses and lead them to his hideout. With no specifics from Mr. Brower, the Death Cavern Boys forced to hand the prisoner over to the sheriff because justice needed to be served. Other towns needed to be protected, and women folk were getting restless to hear the newest tale from their heroes. The other 2 horses, bikes, and other property are soon recovered and returned to its rightful owners. The news spread quickly of our heroics, and we are welcomed back into camp with boisterous cheers and gunshots. The citizens of Marshalltown lined the streets to catch a glimpse of heroes, rippling muscles and charming grins as we galloped towards the horizon, only to get lost on the bike path. Thanks a lot for talking, guys. Justice was served in Marshalltown on this day, and if danger should happen upon your town, if it happens to be between Iowa and the Pacific on the exact date that our schedule is, and Slinger is not on a break at a gas station chugging a 20 of Coke and chowing down on a Butterfinger, you'll know you can count on the Death Cavern Boys, Eagle Eye and Slinger. No need to thank us. It's all in a day's work. Now these cowboys are in need of some shut-eye. Until next time, the Death Cavern Boys, Eagle Eye and Slinger.